I am a biracial cis man with short brown hair and brown eyes, wearing a gray t-shirt against a plain white background. After I came out at 15, my house was vandalized. There was no note, but the safe sex poster taped to the front door made it clear that I was the target. My parents said I was putting my sisters at risk with my lifestyle choices. Years later, my mom told me how many friends she'd lost because of my coming out, as though expecting an apology or thanks. In 2004, the country looked much different. Marriage equality was yet to come. Don't ask, don't tell was the law of the land. Gay representation ranged from the coiffed caucasity of Will and Grace to the satiric caucasity of Queer as Folk. Some things haven't changed. LGBT people everywhere still face ostracism and violence, and Club Q was the only LGBT club in Colorado Springs. At 15, I was very sad and very alone. I understood the concept of gayness, but I didn't know any actual gay people. My coming out was a reaching out, a bid for understanding, although one therapist assured my parents I was just going through a phase. My parents treated me like a stranger. I spent an entire summer under house arrest. I felt as if I'd done something horribly wrong, and in a sense, I had. From my house, I could see the Air Force Academy and Focus on the Family. Colorado Springs, the evangelical Vatican, is home to no fewer than 5 military bases and 81 religious organizations. I hung out with the bad kids, the only ones who saw the absurdity of it all. They smoked on the hill before class, fucked in public restrooms, couldn't have cared less about my nascent sexuality. I grasped for any means of control. I wore all black and stopped eating. I slept less and less and began to wander aimlessly through my neighborhood at night. I eventually ended up in a psychiatric institution where my fellow patients included a girl in withdrawal from meth and a boy who saw a fox telling him to kill his mother. I only went to Club Q once in the summer of 2007. I was 18 years old, just out of high school and working at Old Navy. One night, I met up with my bisexual manager. I turned into the parking lot, shielded by a wall of trees, and then I saw the multicolored sign glowing softly in the nighttime haze. It was my first time at a gay club, probably at any club, and the novelty of each experience crashed gracelessly into the next. After the bouncer checked my ID, I entered a shadowy hallway that opened into a single room dimly illuminated by reddish lights. T-Pain's bartender blared over the speakers. I like the bartender. I'm at the bar with her. The clientele was young, male, thin. I found my manager, and together we shuffled from left foot to right. I tried to focus, but was distracted by the proximity of strangers. Strangers, but not really strangers. I'd been out for 3 years, and the only other queers I'd met were through school, a severely limited pool. At Club Q, I entered a new world. I didn't talk to the gentle swayers that night, but the air between us crackled with electricity. The shift from long-held fantasy to flesh and blood potential was almost too much to bear. Its erotic jolt as powerful and unexpected as the flash of a Victorian woman's bare ankles. In the semi-darkness, the differences between us melted away, holding out the possibility that, together, we could be whole.